Hi, my name is Susan Ni Chriodain, and I place a lens on the human side of work life. I'm based in Oxford, I'm Irish, and since the turn of the century, I've pretty much moved every time I've changed jobs. I lived in Australia, I lived in Ireland briefly, I lived in Uganda, I lived in Kenya, I lived in the UK, then Switzerland, and now back in the UK again. And over that period of time, I also traveled extensively, often with work. And that could be anything from 1 week to 3 months. And in fact, I think I've been to something like over 60 countries so far. Jet lag. Well, it's one of those human experiences, isn't it, that I suppose we get over because we certainly keep traveling. Well, I did, and I could say I had no choice because I did it for work, but there's always choice. So when I was in Europe, I guess I traveled to Africa, to America, and to Asia. And oftentimes, I think I found the shorter time differences the harder to adjust. So going somewhere like 6 to 8 hours, I don't know, there's something about I don't know what it is, because 1 or 2 hours seems like that should be easy, but it's never easy. And then maybe it depends on the direction of travel as well, or the time you travel. I mean, look, I've tried every sort of combination over the years to get it right. But for me, the stress or the difficulty related to travel starts before you ever get on the plane or off the plane on the other country. Going through airports, I mean, how stressful is that? Even if you've got everything down pat, which you would do when you travel so much, so you know not to wear a belt so that you don't get caught at security, and your liquids are packed perfectly. But there's all of this stress around travel. Being on the actual plane, well, that's easy. And then you get off. And if you're going to Asia or Africa, you get off a plane and the exotic smells and life just changes. And maybe that gives you a sense of energy. But I remember a couple of occasions where jet lag really did impact me. And actually, what stands out more is going to America, because you would generally arrive in America late afternoon, which would be nighttime for me because I've gone backwards 5 hours. So I've gained 5 hours. So I need to stay awake as long as possible. Maybe I get to bed at 9 o'clock, but guaranteed I'm awake by 4. And then you're lying in your hotel bed going, what am I going to do? So what I used to do was get up and exercise, go for a run, use the treadmill, whatever I could do, depending on whether it was winter or summer and whether or not there was a gym in the hotel. And the same in Asia, actually. Bangladesh, I got into a routine when I got to Bangladesh of making sure I got up as early as possible, like 6 o'clock in the morning, which would have been midnight for me, and then working out. So doing something, just getting on a treadmill or getting on a bike and just doing something. So the body's moving and I'm starting to fool myself that I'm ready to go for the day. And then eating at the right times as well. So being on a regular clock. And I guess you're trying to tell your body that it needs to operate right here, right now. And yeah, sometimes that works. Sometimes it didn't. I always found I'd sleep really well the first night, but the second night, that was always the hard one. And especially when you were going to bed way earlier than you're meant to try and fool your clock into getting right. And, you know, as I was thinking about this exercise or this video, I don't have huge recollections of the jet lag when I get back home to my own base. And I guess many weekend was just used up recovering from jet lag. But my memories of jet lag are much more related to having to get up and go to work in the country that I'm in. And one that actually stands out as well for me is I walked the Camino de Santiago. So I walked from Portugal, Lisbon in Portugal, to Santiago de Compostela back in September 2018. And on one night, one evening, I crossed from Portugal into Spain by boat, like a 30-minute trip, but there's an hour time difference. So I left Portugal at 6 o'clock, took 30 minutes to get there, 6:30, but actually it was already 7:30 in Spain. And that really played with my mind for the first few days, because I had been in such a regular kind of timetable for walking and all of that. Suddenly there was an hour that just threw me out. And that reminds me a bit of daylight savings. So yeah, jet lag, it's one of those weird phenomenons, but so is travel. So is travel. And travel is tiring, no matter what way you look at it. So adding in jet lag makes the whole thing bizarre.